Do we still have like our podcast placed on iTunes?
It's been I've been paying for it every month.
You have to pay to post podcasts? I didn't think I even knew that.
How much is it per month?
For us, because I got to see increased storage, it's $30. Yeah, it's not that bad.
We should start a GoFundMe for you.
A Patreon. And
Yeah, just do a Patreon.
Yeah,
OnlyFans
Patreon.
for Pete.
We'll have an OnlyFans.
Someone will subscribe for sure.
There's a market.
Oh, fuck yeah.
There's somebody
There's
for
a
everybody.
market. There's a market for everything.
There's an
Hell
ass
yeah.
for every seat, dude.
Welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. We are actually still a podcast. It's been a few months, but we are attempting to come back and do some entertainment for everybody. I'm your host, Opie, and with me, as always, is Kevin. It's an audio podcast, dickhead.
Is it though? You never
Yeah, just
know.
waving doesn't help.
Yeah.
Pretty much the vast majority of anyone listening or watching this. There's like two people watching this, and one of them is you.
That's because everything is over Zoom meeting now, dude. So all I ever do is wave in
Oh.
a Zoom meeting and then hit mute and close my eyes.
Well, that's Kevin, everybody, if you've forgotten.
Yeah.
Alex.
Hello.
Pete is sort of here. If you're watching, you can see his screen, but if you're listening, he may have had a heart attack on air, and we just are finding out this way, but we don't know what's going on. So he might pop in. We'll see. Being that this episode is going to be geared around talking about the Mandalorian, after seeing how much press and excitement and reactions to just the last episode, but the last season of the Mandalorian, we thought we'd do an episode about the Mandalorian. And so whenever we do Star Wars, we generally have these two other gentlemen on the show as well to talk about it. Our friend David, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
And
Thank you.
our other friend Donkey, welcome back to the
Hello.
show. Thank you for joining us on our, I guess this is our year-end episode as well. And so the Mandalorian, which premiered, was it a week ago and a day now? It was last Friday.
The finale, you mean?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mandalorian,
Something like
the
that.
rescue.
Yeah.
Going into it, I don't know. I mean, if you haven't seen that episode, obviously this is going to be a spoiler, episode. So just put that out there. Going into that last episode, I didn't really read any spoilers per se. I just kind of saw like just headlines of like gossip things flipping through the news app on my phone. But I had an idea of how things were going to go. I just didn't know how they were going to play it out. So, so from there, did any of you guys have any idea of what was going to happen going into that last episode beforehand?
No.
No
Not really.
expectations.
No.
I made a joke about it being, again, spoilers incoming,
Yeah.
about it being Luke, but I didn't think they would do it.
Now, how so? Like what? Because I had just seen like a headline of something that gave the impression that he might make a cameo in the final. Like that's just how I guess my memory remembers it. So going into the
I
episode,
saw
like,
his
go ahead.
I saw his Twitter post. He posted something that says like after it came out, he's like, anybody seen anything good lately? And that's
On
all
TV,
Mark
yeah.
Hamill posted.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it was
okay.
yeah.
But that was post
So,
it
like-
going out. Like nothing leaked
Right.
ahead of time, which was crazy impressive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he said he recorded that like a year before that.
Hmm.
So that's what made it like extra crazy.
Yeah, our friend group had been joking for a while that it would be Luke Skywalker, but I don't think anyone was like taking it too terribly seriously. But it was definitely in the forefront of my brain going into it that he could show up.
Yeah, I had the same inkling too. I just like so when that scene comes and see the X-Wing right there, I spent more time looking at my eldest daughter, like to look at her reaction, just because and not obviously that I did know, just I just had the feeling that it was, because in the realm of possibility, it's like I keep in mind of, you know, the time frame of when this is happening, knowing which characters are still alive.
Yeah.
And, you know, not that it's likely you're going to see any of them or how that's going to work out, but yeah, these are certain people you could expect. Ahsoka, you know, earlier in the season, haven't not seen any of the other ones. I knew she was a character. I didn't know anything about her because I've just seen her image basically, because I've never seen, what is that? That's from Clone Wars?
I think.
Okay.
Clone Wars
She
and
started in Clone
Rebels.
Wars.
Oh, she's in both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew, you know, of her, but I didn't know anything about her. That was a pretty cool reveal. You know, I thought that was pretty, you know, cool. But yeah, so it just, I don't know. I was really surprised, but I've seen that scene so many times through the reaction videos that are online.
The Luke scene.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
whole, you know, and it's hilarious, but it's like, it's just unadulterated like happiness.
Yeah.
Every time it's like that's the coolest thing I've seen in a while. It's just these people, just you see them work it out in their head. You know, a lot of them react at the same time, and it's hilarious. The ones that, you know, who's gonna take the longest to figure it out, or who's gonna be just denying, or it's like, and almost to the point sometimes I'm like, did nobody have any idea? Like, because I don't remember, because I'm watching my daughter, because I'm thinking that's who it is, just guessing in my head. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at her to see if she puts it together. And so I don't have a memory of watching it myself. I only have a memory of me watching other people watch it.
You didn't even see the episode, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I do want to watch it again. I definitely want to watch that episode again. But yeah, I mean, how did you guys react? Like, what were your, you know, initial thoughts going through it?
I think the X-Wing kind of gave it away as soon, there's been a few X-Wing scenes in Mandalorian, even in this season, but there's always like a couple of them. And so when you just see the one and you're like waiting, and there's no other X-Wing. And then they even say like, oh, one X-Wing. I'm like, well, that's Luke Skywalker. Like, it was immediate for me. Like, I had no doubt.
That was my thought too. Just like, okay. But then it was funny when these videos, you know, these people obviously are really into Star Wars. They would start naming off of, like, it's like, that's not Ahsoka. That can't be Ahsoka.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like,
Bridger or whatever.
Ezra, yeah. It's like, I'm like, who the fuck? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was thinking of like you and Pete, like if you guys were watching these videos going, no.
Yeah.
That's like understand what they're saying.
He doesn't even fly that kind of ship.
Yeah, like, oh, come on. You did not just say that. God, you're an idiot. Yeah, so it was just interesting. It's just interesting watching all these people's, you know, watching this unfold in front of them, and just how it took them. Some of them were just like, just gone. I think the video I sent you guys is one of the funnier ones, because it makes me laugh every time watching it, because, you know, when he takes his hood off, how the music changes to, you know, that classic theme. The guy was like crying, and he's like, oh, they even got the fucking music too. Oh, it's like, it's awesome. It's just so seeing all that. I was like, God, that's just the end of 2020 for anyone watching that show, which is a lot of people. It's like, I don't know. It was just such a release for so many people on that. But so again, yeah. So what about you, Kevin? Were you watching with your kids?
Yeah, I was the same as you. I was watching my youngest, because my youngest is the big Star Wars fan of the family. Like, he corrects me on Star Wars shit at this point. And so he was just like bouncing, like he was all electricity as soon as that X-Wing showed up. Like, he knew, right?
Oh yeah.
And then he walked down, he's like, that's the glove, that's the, you know, like he's pointing out all this stuff. Like, he got it right away. And he was just stoked about it. And then my wife was sitting there, she hasn't even watched any of season 2, and like after he shows up and they do the whole Baby Yoda thing, like she's almost crying, like she's like, I don't even watch the show, like and so it was great.
Really well.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I've pointed out to is my son caught the McClunky at the very end in the post credits. and he lost his shit over
I
that.
don't know what that
Everyone-
is. What is that?
Do we
So-
start already?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
Yeah, hi, Pete.
Welcome to the show, bud.
We're about to go to
Yeah,
break
so-
in about 2 minutes. You want to sit tight?
Real quick, Mike, Obi, are you using your computer audio or the microphone off your headphones?
The microphone.
You
off
should
my
be using
headphones.
that one.
Can you tilt the mic on your
Yeah.
headphones up just a little bit?
Yeah. How's that?
Now he shows up
A
to
little
do
nicer. Thank you.
production work.
All right, fuck off.
Jeez.
I'm only an hour
Yeah.
late.
All right, so let's go ahead and
My
start
ass.
over again. Alex, what was your reaction to?
Well,
But yeah, so the McClunky comes out. I think it was out of the first Lucas edits. So when they do the Han shot first scene, when Greedo shoots, like right before he shoots,
Yeah.
they have all his dialogue shown underneath, right, in subtitles.
Uh huh.
And then right before he gets shot, he says McClunky, and there's no translation for it.
McClunky.
And
Oh,
somehow,
really?
like,
Huh.
yeah, and so, but twice since then it's been used. I forget what the second one was, and then the third one was when he's coming, right before Boba Fett comes down the stairs, when the dude runs up, you hear
Yeah.
somebody run off, and you hear McClunky, and then he fucking shoots him.
Oh,
So my son was dying. Like, we had to rewind it like 3 times because he was laughing so hard.
wow. That's a deep cut.
it's a deep cut.
Yeah, for a 10-year-old.
Oh yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I want to watch that
But
one.
yeah,
Wow, I knew. Yeah, you put that on our thread. I had no idea what that was. I'm like, am I missing something? Like,
yeah.
what?
Apparently.
Well, if anyone listening didn't catch that, Pete is actually here live, I think, via satellite from his hospital bed.
Right.
Fuck you.
What happened to your background and everything? Did you get kicked out of the bedroom?
No, just took it off my dungeon master background.
Where? Oh yeah, I've been hearing you've been playing a little D&D.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been fun.
Yeah.
Takarsky and a couple of people I went to high school with,
Wow.
and then just a Facebook friend.
It's something I've never done, but I digress. I assume you've been watching The Mandalorian because we haven't talked to you in a few months after your incident. But I assume you have time to watch some TV.
Oh yeah,
All right.
oh yeah. Especially this. It's been a whole family event.
Okay.
Like our two, the girls' 2 big Christmas presents this year. Stella got a plush Baby Yoda. And
Okay.
Sophia got the pop with the Baby Yoda with the frog in its mouth. Like they both
okay.
wanted that one, really bad. It's been fun. Shit. I mean, even just going back to season 1, it's easily the best Star Wars product that's been delivered aside from Rogue One yet.
Yeah, I'd say as a whole.
Like in the
sure.
newer era, it leans into what it is, from the very beginning, with the phenomenal soundtrack and everything else. Okay, it's a fucking Western. Like they don't make any bones about it. There's no, like, oh look, it's
It's
like
a Western, which is also samurai.
right. But like you watch, even if you really love, if you love Firefly, there's still moments where just that whole world, it's cool and it's a Western, but it's not at the same time. This is a fucking Western with a space background. Like straight up, it's all Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, for
all,
sure. They had a couple of those parallels for sure.
Mhm.
Especially like this season, right off the bat with the second episode when he gets Boba Fett's armor.
Or the crate dragon? No, that's the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, no, for
The
the
season.
season opener.
Yeah.
I mean that was friggin'. I honestly think I was trying to go back and look. That might have been a Lone Wolf and Cub fucking actual episode, and back in the Akira Kurosawa samurai movie days. It wasn't obviously a crate dragon, but it was some other thing that they had that the samurai had to face, and the town marshal, like the whole deal. It's just been so well done. Their effects budget, they spent it in the complete right places.
It looked great. This whole season looked great.
Mhm.
Just
Really
absolutely
good.
amazing. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are, I mean, they're
People.
literally brilliant with what they've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole series, I mean, you take it. Yeah, I mean, Yoda's one thing, but Baby Yoda, they created a cultural phenomenon among people who were not already Star Wars people, just on this little fucking Yoda thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't into Star Wars before, you kind of are now, because fucking everybody knows who Baby Yoda is.
Yeah.
You know, you had like one of the things you were talking about, the reaction video. You what?
Unfortunately, I hate that thing so much.
You hate Grogu?
Oh God. Okay, well, first I'm gonna be like the Mandalorian Grinch here. So, I love the show, but I also have problems. First is
we all have
Baby
problems.
Yoda is just a giant MacGuffin, and it's like saturation of pop culture is nauseating. That's the first thing.
Probably shouldn't show you what I bought Sam for Christmas.
Everyone loves it, and like
Look at
everyone
Elijah's
has
background.
something. I have a little piece
Yeah.
too, so like I'm also like participating.
Well, there you go.
But it's too much. It's too much.
It's a total MacGuffin, but I
It
think
is.
for once it's a MacGuffin that's done so incredibly well, because he's got his own little personality. He's got his own little things that and like, he's cute, but he's still eating another creature's embryos.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I mean,
like,
yeah,
it's still you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still, yeah, he's cute, but he's slamming stormtroopers around.
Well, now you know why Yoda moved to Dagobah. It's not because he was exiled. It's because he was like top of the food chain here, bitches. Like,
Yeah, delicacies.
everything on that planet is his snacks.
Yeah.
Like that's.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
I think that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, of course, he's a MacGuffin because you need a reason for Mando to go places and do things, basically, because otherwise he would just like wait for a job and it wouldn't be an interesting show. But like, it wasn't like the MacGuffins in Rise of Skywalker, like go here to get this dagger and then go here to get this thing and then walk over here and angle it at the Death Star wreckage. And it was just like, this is a fucking mess. Like,
Yeah.
like at least he has
That's true.
personality, and there's like, he's entertaining to be around, you know, like he gives you a little something back rather than just being a thing to do a thing. Like he has.
It didn't feel like you're watching somebody play Tales from Monkey Island or something.
Yeah, just some choose your own adventure nonsense. Like it still was. I mean, I like him. I'm not gonna lie. I love him.
Everyone does. I am in the minority here. Although I will say my favorite scene was when Jason Sudeikis's biker trooper.
I fucking love that. Oh my
punched
god!
it.
Oh, when he punched
laughed
him
so hard, and I felt like an asshole, but I laughed so hard.
No, that shit was hilarious. That Adam Paley and him, that like 1 minute scene was
and
so
trying to
funny.
shoot straight but not doing it because they're stormtroopers. Like that was a great scene. Even though he's a fucking dick.
Now the one I've been the one thing that since it first showed up this season that I've been waiting to hear is specifically Opie and Kevin's take on the emergence of Boba Fett.
Oh,
and how he's a badass and has always been one. Is that what you mean?
No. Yeah, I thought. Well, I thought about that too, because I was like, I knew it. They're gonna bring him up eventually. But by this point though, I was already bought into the Mandalorian storyline, so it wasn't that surprising. And again,
well, he showed up in season 1 technically.
Well, whenever he showed up, it wasn't. I was already
it was
kind of bought in.
The boots walking.
Oh, that's right.
Fennec.
That's Fennec, yeah.
Yeah, I remember making mention that. I don't think I remember that when he actually showed up asking for the armor. But again, I was like, I wasn't surprised because again, I think I had heard something where I may have suspected, but it wasn't like a huge reveal for me. I was kind of more like, oh, Boba Fett, of course, of course. And so I thought of Kevin at the time. I'm like, of course he shows up, right?
Oh yeah! As soon as Timothy Oliphant was wearing that armor and you saw that,
that's the thing. Yeah,
I knew that wasn't Boba Fett. Sitting there like that,
tall and lanky and goofy looking in the armor.
Yeah, it's like
Boba Fett is
no.
Gone vegan.
Yeah,
Boba Fett became a long distance runner. But yeah, it's kind of funny though. Timothy the Oliphant's like, Jesus, how skinny is that dude? Is that
right?
you can't,
right?
But
Well,
But
then,
yeah,
and
so
how
that was
old
the
is
big
Michael
one.
Biehn looking then?
He looked pretty
Not
old.
not to shift gears completely, but like up on the wall in the Ahsoka episode, like
Yeah.
it took me a second to realize that was him. I was like, fuck happened
I
to
didn't
Hicks, bro?
realize it until the end when because I remember like he was
Who?
going to be in an episode. Michael Biehn, Kyle Reese from Terminator 1, and he's in Aliens and The Rock and like a million action movies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was him until the credits because I remember hearing he was going to be in an episode, and then it showed his name, and I was like, who is he? And then I had to like go back and look at images of him, and I was like, whoa, like he looks super different.
I have to look back at that.
I think I got about halfway through the episode and was like, I need to know who that is, and like looked it up on my phone.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And then was like, oh yeah, okay, see it now. But it took. I had to look it up.
It was one of those things. I was like, I recognize him, but he's probably
same.
nobody important.
That's exactly. I was like, is that fucking dude? No.
Yeah.
So, Donkey.
Boba Fett rules.
As I see,
so fucking cool. It was so fucking
Dave,
cool.
Dave, is Donkey's background just driving up the fucking wall?
Oh, I saw it all when he came in. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, okay.
Tell me you have a Grogu tattoo. Do you have a Grogu tattoo? Tell me you do.
Not yet. Hold on, wait. It's on the shirt though too.
Yeah. Okay.
I did it up.
Yeah.
I said I'll take anything. There's no such thing as too much.
That's true.
But I like that there's no Mandalorian at all. It's all just
exactly.
I'll just
Nope.
No.
Although you probably have got to be the one. Knowing what your philosophy about Star Wars is basically, I just want more Star Wars. You gotta be happy with the fact that one, there's more Star Wars. Two, it brought your favorite character back to life, and three is launching a fucking spinoff.
Oh, that investor day meeting was like the best thing in the world for me. And I was like, I still get crap because yes, I still love Solo, and I don't think it was too much. I see all the head shaking, but give me anything Star Wars, and I love it. And this crap. I mean, okay, wait. I had the new Star Wars Lego holiday special.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Shit, I was not. It reminded me of the original. I don't like it. No.
Oh, dude, that was off the chain. It was fucking so funny.
I thought it's hilarious.
So
yeah,
you,
me and my
you
girls
like
watched
Solo,
it twice.
but not the
not the Lego holidays.
Man.
I guess I'm not a Lego Star Wars. I'm not a Lego person. Like that crap never does it for me.
Okay. Well, you're crazy. It was hilarious.
But back to Mandalorian.
Yeah.
My reaction when I saw the X-wing, I paused it and started screaming for my wife to come over here because I needed someone to experience it with me because I was just watching it by myself, and I turned on.
You watch it by yourself? Your kids don't care?
Well, only my littlest one, Leia. She's the one that like most of this Baby Yoda stuff is hers because she's the one that she dressed up as Baby Yoda for Halloween. She wanted to be.
How old is she?
She's 3.
Did she have a choice?
No,
yeah,
she doesn't.
Oh yeah, she has a choice of what
no. This year
she can't wipe her own ass. You
right.
just indoctrinated her for right now. Don't.
I named her Leia. So.
Yeah, I know. I caught that.
So,
yeah, dude, she's gonna rebel and turn into a fucking Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, she's gonna be a tricky person.
Like, so
yeah, if you name me, she's gonna following Carrie Fisher's footsteps. She's gonna live the same life. Congratulations.
It's okay. I'll still.
It's okay. It's also more Star Wars.
More Star Wars. She knows how to play dad.
All right, so going into generally right now, just going into that after scene. Did you know that something was coming? Like, was that a complete surprise to you?
I haven't paid attention to anything as far as like stuff online or anything like that. So that was a complete surprise to me when I saw that.
Well, that show specifically wasn't announced at the
that's what I heard.
Yeah, I don't think it wasn't on there.
Yeah, that's something too. Again, in the reaction videos, which they're all like the book of Boba Fett, and then they saw the date, and some of them got it right away, like got excited. Others were like December 2020, like not getting it. Like,
yeah.
So
well, it was a little odd for them to call it the Book of Boba Fett because you're like, is it a book or is it a new show? Like,
that'd be hilarious if it comes out and it's a book.
Yeah, just a book.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of Boba Fett and that's it.
It's a children's book, lots of illustrations.
There was a theory running around online that was going to be the end of Din Djarin's story for now, and
that's what I thought.
Boba Fett was going to take over the Mandalorian for the next season.
Oh,
that was the original thought, and then Disney came out and said no.
Like it was going to be like what's that show, the HBO like True Detective or whatever it was, where it's going to be the Mandalorian, but we're shifting gears and we're going to tell this story now. And they came out and said no, and that actually made me happy.
Well, they've said no, but they've also lied about stuff in the past to keep secrets. So it's like, because they've said like, Pedro's coming back, yada yada.
It'll be Mandalorian : the Book of Boba Fett.
It's tough because on one hand, if this was the end, if that's the way they wanted to end it, and that's the way they wanted to say that was like the end of the story, I thought that would have been really, really cool.
That would have been fine.
To just been like, boom, like that's it. Like this is the story we told with this dude. We're going to be a little artsy with it, but we're done with him. I am though with what they've done now, because Disney, this is where Marvel actually could take, Disney should start watching Marvel for any movie decisions that it makes. But
I think it does watch it since they own it.
Well, no, you know what I'm saying. This is where Marvel needs to grab from Disney.
I mean, they need to get in the office like next door and hear through the wall.
They've been able to integrate their canon through like 3 different formats now, through the animated series, live action series, and through the movies that Marvel hadn't completely integrated with, like the Netflix series, and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was there and it was part of the universe, but then towards the end it just completely like left the rails and
did
went
its
away.
own thing.
Whereas like Mandalorian, this is now that you've got, with Bo-Katan and the Darksaber and all that, you've now integrated, Ahsoka as a live action. Now this is like, okay, we weren't joking. Clone Wars, Rebels, all this shit is canon and part of this whole world. If you guys really want to understand everything, go back and watch all this shit.
Yeah, like and understand how cool Boba Fett is. You can't unbeat that drum. It's over now. He's officially cool. He was already cool, but now he's officially cool.
No, he's never knocked that first stormtrooper in the head.
Who? Boba Fett?
Stick. Yeah, that was the shit.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it's fine if they're gonna make him cool, make him cool. It's just like up to that point, he hadn't done shit.
Well, he had
so
in Clone Wars. No. That's what we're saying. He's in Clone Wars as like a teenager.
But in stuff people watched, though. Like adult.
Yeah. What we consider mainstream, canon.
It is canon.
I know.
We're not doing this again. I'm just gonna get pissed off and I'm gonna throw Baby Yoda across the room. I don't want to do that.
I'm getting angry.
It was great just to watch the evolution of Boba Fett in just this series.
Yeah,
because he comes back and he's kind of like monk-like with his robes and his gaffy stick, and looking just straight up sand person. And then by the end he's looking fairly Boba Fett again. But in the middle he had some like cool gunslinger vibe going for him with the long robes and shit.
I don't know if
slightly out of weight or out of
he's a little,
yeah.
I mean,
it all kind of added to the whole thing. You're like, I'm digging this.
He's old. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this is Boba Fett,
now,
like 30 years old. I'm buying into this.
6 years after Return of the Jedi, I'm sure he had to eat his feelings after crawling out of the Sarlacc pit. So.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Do we have a theory as to how he got out?
I mean,
you're
in there essentially forever, so he probably was just like falling and then fixed his jetpack and then just flew out of it. But I don't know. I'm sure they'll talk about it in the Book of Boba Fett.
I don't know. I was curious if maybe the Great Dragon like chewed him out, like he
Yeah, because that's what they said was that the Great Dragon ate the Sarlacc, right? Yeah. So is that supposed to be the same Sarlacc pit? That's what they hinted at.
I think so. Yeah. I mean that's what I thought.
That'd be interesting.
They'll show flashback scenes of that when he's talking to his therapist.
Yeah.
I did though dig in that little post credit when he finally sits on that throne. It
It's
had
like-
this like real Conan vibe too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like destroys
Yeah,
Bib
for sure.
Fortuna and then just like sits down. Like a
Yeah,
little-
and then the way Fennec like sits there, but it's obvious she's not like just some other Twi'lek slave girl.
no,
Like,
she's
on
second
the-
in
like, the
I
command.
didn't get that vibe at all.
Yeah, like it
She
was.
puts
it
the
was so
chain
just
on.
like-
It's like, what?
Right?
Yeah, she was like chugging that. It wasn't blue milk, but it was blue. Like she was like
Yeah, it was
just
blue.
chugging
Yeah,
that
I
alcohol
was wondering what
bottle.
that. Yeah, if there's, I was trying to think of that signifying thing. Like, I thought the same thing. I'm like, that's. I don't think that's blue milk, but I wonder if that's what they're trying to signify.
At Galaxy's Edge, you can get the blue milk with alcohol in it.
Yeah, that's, what I
That's
heard.
true.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's the adult version, and they are in a cantina.
That's the
That's-
tequila version.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, so during the whole series so far, the first two seasons, one character I find particularly interesting, and at times I find it hard to integrate into the series, but Bill Burr and his couple cameos, especially this last episode that he was in, where he's in
Yeah.
pretty much the whole episode. I thought, in particular, I thought he did fine. It's just, for me, it's hard for me to separate him from his comedy, because I'm just so
Comedian Bill Burr.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
you know,
No,
Yeah.
see,
by
I
far my favorite comedian right now. It's just I could see elements of him or his comedy or his style in the character he was doing, and at times it didn't necessarily take me out of it. It was just like interesting. I'm like, was that a character choice, or is that just him
Yeah.
not really acting, or just he's just really comfortable in what he's doing?
Yeah.
But overall, I thought he did a good job for what they gave him to do.
I think they wrote that character with him in mind and what
Yeah.
he would bring to it. But that episode specifically, I was super fucking impressed with Bill Burr.
I was too.
Those moments when they
Yeah.
were cutting back and forth between him and that fucking Imperial officer that was talking,
Mhm.
like I'm watching him going, yo, fucking Bill Burr can kind of act.
He's like
Yeah.
an actor right now.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is not
Surprising.
like I was watching like the look that he had, like there were a couple moments in there where there was this visible change on his face. Like it was really like he went from like like I'm watching,
Yeah.
oh, you brought up the planet, and you're like, oh shit. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna jump off.
I didn't really care for his appearance in the first season. I did
No.
not like it, but it was just like it was there, and now it's
I thought it was
over.
like, I
Fine.
thought it was like Brian Posehn as the little like skiff driver in the first episode.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Like,
been
it
a
was like,
bunch of those.
okay, it's a cameo kind of thing.
Yeah. And then when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go break him out," I was like, "Okay, like I don't care." But that episode was, I was like, "That's fine." I mean, again, his character was whatever to me, and especially because like they broke him out post hanging out with Boba Fett, so I was like, I don't care about this guy anymore. Like they had Boba Fett, why do they even need him? But like,
They don't
but
need anybody once you have Boba Fett.
he's the best.
Boba Fett's like MacGyver with a gun.
Yeah, think Chuck Norris with a helmet. So, but actually,
Bruce Lee with a hang glider. Like what?
You're like, he doesn't even have that.
I don't know how's that add up?
Yeah, I was really actually impressed with him that second episode. I thought he did a much better job.
Yeah.
The story was interesting. Like it gave his character depth. He wasn't just like another thug that Mando was bumping into on his adventures. Like it gave him a lot more, like his arc felt a lot more complete after that second episode. So I'm happy that he's still around. Like I'm excited now if they bring him back again. Like I'll be pumped more the next time.
Yeah, obviously they left that open.
Mhm.
Definitely can.
They did just leave him on that planet. So
Yeah,
I don't
basically,
know.
all of yeah. They'll go on.
Yeah.
You want your freedom? You're free. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah.
But now I've only seen the first two seasons once through. Have anybody seen the first season more than once?
Yeah. I've watched them both twice through now.
I actually haven't gone back and watched them again. I enjoyed them for what they were, and then I didn't need them again.
They're fun to watch again. I won't say you won't necessarily catch a lot of stuff you didn't catch
Yeah,
before. It's nothing like that.
I
It's
doubt
all
that. I'm sure I
they
would.
keep everything
I don't know.
right up in your face.
He's talking to me specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Right now he's talking to you. Sorry. Were we supposed to listen in at this part?
Yeah.
But they're still really, really enjoyable. And I find the story doesn't lose anything on a second watch through. Like, even though I know everything's going to happen, there's something about the way it's done that it still feels kind of fresh.
Yeah, some shows definitely, they suffer from a second watch through. You're like, oh, this wasn't, like, it was good the first time, but I didn't see it again. Yeah.
I mean, my impression of the first season was like, you can kind of see that they're kind of in the beginning kind of finding their way as far as like a story that's interesting, that, what are you going to do? How's this working? And at the time I was thinking, like, what else are we going to watch? I mean, this is, we've watched everything else. So, I mean, I'm bought into, until it, see how it goes. And it was, interesting enough from what I remember. It seemed like, okay, it was definitely better than any other, space or Star Wars themed television show I've seen before, in that case. And it was like, how does it relate? And kind of taking into account, it's like, okay, I got to remember this is TV. So the effects and, or little things may not, look the same, but it's still,
It looked great.
I think it looked really good.
That was actually the thing that got me, though, is I was distracted by Luke, his face. It wasn't right.
It's the mouth. It's always hard with that de-aging shit.
Yeah.
Like, it always
that was the thing.
line up right.
I felt just the opposite. I felt like that actually was the best de-aging shit we've seen yet.
Well, considering what
the
he
Carrie
looks
Fisher
like
thing
now,
looked kind of
compare, like, knowing now after the fact that was actually him and not just, because even in Rogue One for Tarkin and for Leia, it was different actors with like their faces deep.
I had read that it was a different actor that played him, and
was
the actor the face wasn't, so it was his face doing it. And then they put it on there, but the actor that was physically there was a different.
I assume they just deep faked the actor.
No.
They chose a specific actor for it, and there's already some rumors swirling that if they did like a Luke series, that guy could actually potentially take over, because he looks similar.
What about the rumors of Sebastian Stan? Yeah,
those are still swirling too.
I think that's always just been fan stuff. I don't think.
Well,
Marvel
it was a Sebastian Stan thing. It started with Sebastian Stan himself.
Rosario,
he started it, but
as Ahsoka was a fan thing too.
Yeah,
that started as a fan thing, and that
was
actually
also just fucking smart.
Well, I don't know anything about that character, but she did a great job.
That was so satisfying.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say I was worried about that, but I was like, when they said it was Rosario Dawson, I was excited.
I don't want to say I was worried about that, but I had some sleepless nights. I'm just going to tell you.
It was one of those, like, in a way, Boba Fett, where like you heard it and it was confirmed that they were going to do it, and you confirmed it was her, and I was like, okay, this is either going to be completely awesome and satisfying, or it's going to be utterly disappointing.
Yeah, she's gonna fall flat. But no, she did great.
And she was perfect. Like, I bought that was an older, grown-up Ahsoka Tano.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, she looks.
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
if you
Me
look
too, because that's the first time I've seen her. Like, so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
Why are you guys even on the show?
Okay, so this will be for Alex and probably
Donkey,
Dave, and Donkey. But dude, so that whole episode, all the little all the little spoilers here and there were, or little tidbits here and there were great.
The Ahsoka one, you mean?
Yeah, and the minute she asked about Thrawn, though, I got so excited, because all of a sudden I said, okay,
he finished.
Here's the Ahsoka spinoff, and the Ahsoka spinoff is her hunting down Thrawn.
Yeah,
like, they've already told you what that shit is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be really, really fucking cool.
Jokes on you, it's going to be a prequel.
Kevin, well, I'm gonna watch Clone Wars and Rebels, just so I
you
can.
Aren't.
I am. Just so I can.
What else is there?
Just so I can understand how much Pete is overreacting right now.
Right.
Like I'll know the whole backstory.
You're going to be surprised about how good those shows actually
it's
are.
not an overreaction though. No, for sure.
They're really good shows.
They're going to surprise the shit
You
out
watch
of you.
the damn show.
The thing that's surprising to me is that you guys have kids. Like they never just turned them on for the kids or something and watched them.
Yeah, my kids have a separate TV. I don't watch everything they watch, man.
You should.
No, I mean I'll probably honestly, given the Mandalorian, I could probably they'd probably be down to watching it just to get more backstory and understand more, and then going in with the angle of with all these other shows coming out. This is there's obviously just with Ahsoka alone, there's lots of backstory we can learn about the character before it happens. So
I mean that show's basically about her by the 3rd season.
Yeah,
so, like it becomes the Ahsoka show more or less.
Which one?
It's her growing up.
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Like they because that movie came out first. Did you guys see the Clone Wars movie, the animated one?
No.
Yeah.
It's not good. But
Can't wait.
You can start with the season.
Yeah, just start with season 1. You don't really need to.
There's nothing in the movie that we
even
need
season
to know.
1's not great.
That's true. It doesn't really get good.
Honestly, I was just saying you can start with.
This is the same review I've always heard, and that's why I've never fucking watched it. Like I don't want to watch a pile of shit.
It's not
unless it's the room. Unless it's the room.
I haven't finished it. I've only watched some of it, but I can tell you that there is some brilliant stuff in there mixed in with some utter crap.
Well, of course.
And that's really Star Wars. Hard. Because one time you'll turn it on and you'll be like, oh my God, that was so good. And the next one's a Jar Jar Binks episode. And then you're just like, oof.
Can't wait for those, I'm sure.
Jar
there
Jar
are
Binks?
some really great arcs. And the thing that they do in the Clone Wars is basically they have like 3 or 4 episode arcs that essentially ends up being like one movie's worth of content. And that is typically like a story for those 3 or 4 episodes. Then the next 3 or 4 will be something else. And then so some arcs are amazing. Some you're like, why am I watching this? And then, the next one will be great again. So yeah, there's definitely some hit or miss for sure in the Clone Wars, but some of the arcs are really fantastic. If you like Star Wars, it's
overall worth it.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. Now what about Rebels?
Oh yeah. Rebels is awesome and just fun. And there's enough in the end that ties Ahsoka in and Darth Vader into that timeline, into the canon that way that they're just fun to watch.
The last scene for Ahsoka, is that in Rebels or is that from Clone Wars? I thought it was in Clone Wars where they have her kind of her
Clone Wars.
It is Clone Wars.
It's Clone Wars where she's basically just walking away.
Oh yeah, that's Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and
Rebels. That's what I'm talking about.
Is that Clone Wars?
In Rebels, we'd actually never see what happens to her, right? If I remember correctly.
Oh no, I took that as her walking away. It was her walking away from the Sith temple. That wasn't.
No,
in Rebels,
there's
shows
another
what
scene I'm
happens to
talking
her.
about, but
does it? I thought the temple collapsed.
Rebels. She goes looking for Ezra.
Oh, that's right, Ezra.
Yeah, Rebels. She goes. Rebels.
I'm loving Opie laughing right now. I'm just watching him in my bottom corner, just shake his head and chuckle.
Stuff happens to her, and then she comes back, and then all kinds of stuff.
No, he walked away. I do believe that he that in the last episode. God damn it! It's like nobody watched that goddamn show.
Anyways, back to.
But I am going to watch those. So I am going to.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to try and watch them with my son a little bit here and there.
Good. I mean, he's the perfect age for that show.
Here's the thing: once you get into the second season, you can tell very quickly whether the episode's kind of be crap, and you can just skip it and go on to the next episode where there's, more going on. They do a really good job of the really awesome stuff and the really fun stuff, and the really great episodes are all about the main storylines and those arcs. It's the filler episodes where they're trying to bridge a gap that fall very short is the problem. Like when that show's at its best and is telling you the big story, it's perfect. And when it's trying to tell you like a one shot, you're just kind of like, ew.
Yeah.
You know how to sell it.
It's more
Speaking of
Star
all
Wars.
these
It's
cameos
more
from
Star Wars.
Clone Wars and Rebels and whatnot, I was concerned going into season 2 of The Mandalorian that they were going to go a little overboard with the cameos. And to a degree they did, because there was like one in every episode.
Yeah.
But I think they still did it well for the most part, and they did it tastefully. So I wasn't too bummed about that, because I was concerned that it was just going to become like the cameo show where like people just kept showing up.
Well, that was at the end. At the end of the first season when you see the dark saber.
Gideon crawls out of his TIE fighter.
So, it was nice understanding what that's about by the end of this season, and the significance of it, which obviously for me, when it ended, I just assumed, okay, there's going to be a third season, because here's this whole new storyline of he's the ruler of Mandalore now, and what that's gonna, there's plenty of stuff you can do with that. So as far as Grogu, I'm like, okay, they obviously can. He's going to be that size for a while, so they can. He's a puppet. He can. His schedule's free.
Plus, it opens up that whole door of what happens now with Luke and him between this point. I mean, because it opens a possibility that Baby Grogu was killed by Kylo in the Knights of Ren.
Yep.
I'm still holding out that Grogu is a Knight of Ren.
He's actually he's in the chest of the outfit, and the arms and shit are like electronic, and he's
like
just
a little
driving
crank thing.
He's a mole.
I think he's been there the whole time. He's just so little, no one saw him. He's in the back.
Yeah.
He's like that. He's like that in Looney Tunes cartoons. The baby that robs the banks. He's actually like a 47-year-old midget, little guy. That's every time you don't see him, he's like eating. He turns around. He's like ready to go back to the Empire. I got him. I'm infiltrated.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. They should do like a multi-camera comedy with Luke and Grogu as a little mini series.
That'd be
awesome. Spin-off. Grogu and the Jedi. But no, so I absolutely thought there would be a third season. Yeah, I'd heard that there is going to be a third season, and that it'll be after they do the Boba Fett. So it might be a little delayed, but who knows. So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like I'm kind of following the way of Marvel, where it's like, okay, well, I'll judge it per what they produce and kind of go from there. So far, it's been pretty good. So whatever comes out next, give that a shot, see what that's like.
Right. They got a lot of really good looking stuff coming. Like even just on the cartoon side, the Bad Batch, looks really good, and that takes us back to 4 characters kind of from the Clone Wars. That are then, it's like these clones that have survived, and now how they adjust to the world that they're living in and what they do with, now that they're dying off and the Empire's in its kind of twilight.
And that the one obviously that I'm looking forward to is Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
Kenobi, whatever.
For sure.
I'm really curious to see what they do with that.
And we see Hayden Christensen walking around in that.
The one that actually intrigued me more than Obi-Wan is the whole Rangers of the New Republic that they announced, but they didn't give us a lot of details about. That it's just, we know it takes place in the Mandalorian timeline, but it's all about like the new, obviously the New Republic, the adventures, and like Cara Dune's supposed to be involved somehow.
Cool.
But that seems really, really cool to me, because it's not like it's something going into the new series that all of a sudden it was just like the Rebels, but we have no idea what's going on with the actual like Republic that was off, destroying the Death Star in the previous 3 films.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with all that, but as far as, I'm sorry, Kevin, you're a little upset about the recasting of Hayden Christensen. He's gonna be Vader, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna be.
I just don't understand the point. Like
he's just gonna be in the suit walking around, and then James Earl Jones' voice. So who cares? I mean, granted, if depending on how much time he's on screen or what his purpose is there a possibility that they catch him in between helmet cleanings?
There's a very big possibility
Yes.
there's going to be some.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason, but
unhelmeted
it's still.
He pops it off and yells at him, say, "Look what you did to me." One of those scenes, which kind of still works given the fact that, you know, in Star Wars, he only said, "I haven't felt this presence since," and he doesn't finish the sentence.
Yeah, he trails off.
Yeah, since the last time he kicked my ass for the second time. God damn it. That's why he stopped himself. He's all since he kicked my ass.
Well, it'll be really interesting if they flip that on its head. Maybe the reason that Vader isn't like blind rage mad that Obi-Wan's on the Death Star in episode
because he's kicked his ass a few times
is because Vader has beat the shit out of Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah,
it shows.
Or maybe he thought he killed him at some point.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, he's back. Time to whoop his ass again."
Oh,
like,
he's back, huh? I'm ready to
He's like, "All right, here we go."
I think I got time in my schedule to kick your ass.
Well, I mean,
so
that's probably what winds up sending Obi-Wan into seclusion.
What?
That's probably what winds up sending Obi-Wan into seclusion.
Oh, he's hiding,
kicking his ass, and that's what he's
just
doing.
crying.
I know what I'll do. I'll hide on his home planet. He'll never find me there.
He hates sand. He's not going to come back.
He does hate sand, and now he's got all the servos. It would just get in there and fuck everything up. Like,
it's all in his little respirator. He's just
He's like, just sand comes out of his helmet.
And you breathe in it. You never get the sand people out of those little filters. So he's just still got that on him.
Like how he is breathing when he is dying. That's how he goes when he's around sand.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he probably does hate Tatooine.
He never paid for those power converters either. And so there's interest backed up on that.
Man.
He can't show his face there.
Oh, no.
Anymore.
Star Wars.
So
Andor, they're gonna do that. That's another spin-off that's happening.
Yeah. I'm honestly less interested in that one.
Andor.
Yeah, I like this character,
Andor.
but I don't know that I care.
Andor,
Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
But
I'd have to watch that. I gotta watch that again. Here's the thing: for the last, I don't know, 6 months, I've been, you know, me and my family, we always kind of watch things, and we've been going through different series of movies since we've had so much time, and I've been hinting, I'm like, let's do Star Wars. I haven't done that in a while. Never want to do it. As soon as The Mandalorian ends, my oldest is like, we should watch the Star Wars over again. And if she wasn't, you know, if she was an older girl, I would have said something to her. But I was like, okay. Like, I've only been saying that for 6 months. But so now I think we are going to do it. We're going to decide the order we're going to go.
Viewing order.
Yeah. You know, so I'm going to present them to them and see what they want to do. But I might do the, you know, obviously start off with Rogue One, just in timeline. That makes sense. And then A New Hope, Empire, and then episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then Jedi and out, or just go chronologically. So we'll see. But so we're going to be watching that, and then as these other shows start coming out, and you know, probably rewatch The Mandalorian. So it's going to be a lot of Star Wars coming up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot. Yeah. Donkey can be happier.
You just see his camera go like this because his owner hits the screen.
Yeah, exactly. More and more Star Wars.
Sorry, guys.
Excuse me. So, anything else to discuss on this topic of either The Mandalorian? I mean, have any of you guys watched any of those reaction videos?
I have.
Yeah, after you sent us the one, I wound up going and finding a couple others just to see how the people reacted.
Yeah, I just every now and again I'll you know, it pops up in my recommended on YouTube when I go there, and probably because I watch a couple and then, you know, anything comes up. But some are just making me laugh. But I didn't really get emotional watching the episode itself, but I was getting emotional watching other people watch it because of just how it's like, it's just like almost like laughing, crying kind of thing, because it was so funny just watching these people's faces. Just watching
Yeah.
their reaction to.
Yeah, some of the reactions were very interesting.
Yeah.
I saw before you even texted the group. I actually saw. I've only seen like one or two, but one of them was like a montage.
Yeah.
Reactions from all across the internet. Some of them were like genuinely sweet. And I was like, oh man, that's nice that this guy's so stoked about Luke Skywalker. And then I saw this one guy who just started. You've probably seen it. He was just like, laughing like a madman, like he just uncontrollably laughing, like with this really breathy, like like that kind of a laugh. And it was like, whoa, dude, like it was a little bit.
The ones I like the most were when there's like at least like 3 or 4 people. Like there's like 4 guys and one of them was just crying as soon as he saw, he kind of knew right off the bat. As soon as most of them would break right when they saw the cloaked figure walking down the hall. Yeah, just like a lot of people were like, is that Ahsoka? That's not Ahsoka. That's gonna be but half would be like, that's Luke, and then the other one would be, show me the green lightsaber, show me the green lightsaber. And then when you see that come through, that's when most people would just
I noticed that too. That was the trend. Whenever that scene with the lightsaber out, when people saw that, they were like, it's Luke. Like they're just freaking out.
But to that thing, so watching that scene so many times, I came to appreciate just the way I assume this is intentional, just how they're able to kind of control the emotion of it, where they go from that to that, just like, oh my God, it's Luke Skywalker, making people so happy, to Grogu leaving with that whole emotional thing where and then the Mandalorian removes his helmet, which is a big thing.
Yep.
And watching so many people react to that, so sad. And then I thought it was hilarious, to the point where they even took it where he puts him down and he's holding on to his leg. He looks down like, come on, you got, like, now you're just like trying to get people to cry at that one.
Yeah.
And then right then you bring in R2, which makes everybody happy.
Yeah.
So it's just like how they kind of turn it back and forth on you. And there's I found that pretty entertaining, watching how people navigated that, and everyone saying, pretty down the line when they're crying, just, we're so happy at that. And it's cool. I think they did a really, really good job, especially with that last episode.
Yeah, they did. I saw like a meme on the internet that was that essentially just like a still from that scene. And it was like, through painstakingly difficult work, I've translated what R2-D2 is saying during this scene, and at the bottom it's like, holy fucking shit, Luke, it's a little Yoda.
Yeah, I don't know, I thought they did a great job with that. I mean, I always go to, it's like, how is this gonna fit in? Like, okay, I mean, I guess they didn't really explain much for after after Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens, as far as there's, we know there's about 30 years there from one to the other.
20-ish, 20 something.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so only so much can happen, but here we are, here's a small story within that period that now can kind of branch off and maybe answer some questions between, that and how Luke managed to get his whole place burnt down. So
that's what's hard, because an obvious spin-off is almost like for kids in a way, is that like young Jedi, like the new Jedi Order, and a whole temple like there. But you can't do that, because in the end every fucking person that you're watching is going to die.
Yeah, pretty much. So just like that, the show's super happy, and then one day Luke just wheels in, hey everyone, this is my nephew Ben, and then just
they did Rogue One.
Exactly. Yeah. But we didn't really know about or care about any of those characters before Rogue One. Whereas,
and you knew going into that movie, none of them motherfuckers was going to live.
Right, exactly.
That was an expected conclusion.
Well, you could do that with this. It'd be hilarious if they did a show like that, though, and like it was all like younglings.
The only reason they would do that show is to show that Grogu wasn't there when the temple was destroyed. That's the only reason they would do that show, is just to make people feel okay that Kylo Ren didn't kill him. Like, look, he didn't get him. He's fine.
Yeah, they'll do like 3 seasons. At the end of the final episode of season 3, they show that scene of the temple burning, and just in the distance through grass, you see little ears running off. That's it. We waited this whole time just for that.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Like, what
They'll go back and that'll be on the special edition re-release.
Yeah, but they don't have plans to go any like that storyline with the Rise of Skywalker. That's done as far as we know, right? They're not.
Yeah, no, that's it. The next movie that we know the title it's been announced is Rogue Squadron, and that's its release date is to be determined. But we've got another Rian Johnson project. Feige actually has a movie coming.
Rian Johnson has another Star Wars project.
Yeah,
I thought they gave him a whole trilogy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought they did, but then they took it away.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And they gave him back one.
No, it's like I'm looking at a real.
See how that goes.
I mean,
yeah.
Granted,
end it like it's over. If it's okay, we'll figure out the sequels.
But he's still got the trilogy, according to what I'm reading right now.
Taika Waititi's
According to
got
the
one too,
internet
right?
page that I'm on right now,
Taika has one.
2018.
Yeah.
I want to see Taika's.
Oh yeah, of course.
I liked his episodes. Anytime he directed the Mandalorian, they were strong episodes.
Yeah. And his IG.
Now the guy who directed this last episode, was he somebody that you'd recognize?
I saw the name, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, what was the name?
It didn't strike me as someone.
Peyton something?
Yeah, Peyton Keel.
Peyton Reed.
Peyton Reed.
Yeah, Peyton Reed.
Yeah, that name is something. I can't remember what projects he's worked on, but his name is recognizable for sure. Everyone, I think, who
directed Ant-Man.
That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he was also the director of Bring It On.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna write him out for that. There.
I thought I recognized his style.
When I saw Kirsten Dunst doing backflips in the scene.
Oh, I've seen this choreography somewhere before.
He directed The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. That was pretty good.
Why are these the films you're pointing out?
I'm just going through
because he's Pete.
We already talked about it.
He has a role, Kevin. He knows his role. He does it instinctually.
Because I don't know many people who saw Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
I saw it.
I think everyone who was given an episode this year did great. Like Robert Rodriguez directed the Boba Fett episode.
It was
so Robert Rodriguez.
It really was. It was really Bryce Dallas Howard got a great episode.
Impressively so. Like and not like a it's a woman director. She was impressive. I mean, she knocked it out of a park, like in this universe perfectly.
And Carl Weathers even directed one of the episodes.
And it was good.
Yeah, everyone did a great job this season, I think. Whereas for season 1, I think, and we talked about it before, but the beginning of season 1 is really good, and the end of season 1 is really good, and then there's a lot of filler in the middle. And I think this one was, for the most part, pretty consistently good throughout the whole season with the different directors.
I enjoyed season 2 more than season 1 for sure.
For sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, it's because Boba Fett's in it.
Yeah.
I know why, dude. I know why.
I mean, and beside of the ongoing plot of trying to find Grogu a Jedi, each episode was its own little episode. Seemingly, it's not like two-parters or anything. Common theme, but okay, well, this character's done. See you maybe later, but you're not going to be next week, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, and it felt like every episode was leading towards his goal. Whereas in the first season, it was like he does some stuff, then he has to meet some people because we need them for like an ensemble at the end of the season. And then at the end of the season, it pays off. Yeah. But like that's what the first season felt like. It's just like he was just collecting people every episode. Like, you're going to be my friend, and you're going to be my friend. Whereas this one, it felt like his goal was to get Baby Yoda to a Jedi, and he was moving towards that goal the whole time. He got obviously delayed and sidetracked here and there, but that was his ultimate thing. And it felt like it was always moving forward, which was nice.
Now, David, is your only problem with the whole Mandalorian series just Grogu and and the pop culture impact,
the
or
sickening amount of pop culture,
or do you have other issues with
it was mostly Grogu. If I had a reaction video, it would have been the exact opposite. As soon as I saw the X-Wing, I went, motherfucker.
You
and
were
I
happy.
was like, fuck. Yeah, I didn't want him to be part of this project. And you know,
I can understand that.
Disney came out and Disney said, like, this is the end of the Skywalker saga. This is the end of the Skywalkers being important in Star Wars. And then they go and make this. And so it just felt hypocritical to me. And
they go and make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was necessary. I think just about any Jedi showing up would have made people happy. I didn't think we needed, you know, obviously it wouldn't have been Luke Skywalker happy, but he didn't necessarily need to be part of the story. I liked that it was separate from kind of the other stuff. Yeah. It's one of the things that I really liked about it. It stood on its own. It was its own thing. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was very disappointing that they made that choice. But I am clearly the only one who feels that. Everyone else
I've seen a couple
really happy.
Yeah. I've seen a couple people express that same sentiment, and I totally understand it, because that's what I even said earlier. I was worried about the amount of cameos, because it's like, this can be its own thing. It proved it in season 1 that it can be its own thing. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I think they did, for the most part, all the cameos pretty tastefully. So I was still okay with it. But I understand that completely. It's like, this doesn't need to be part of that. Like, this is the galaxy and you're focusing on like this much of it. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to, you can talk about other people besides Skywalker and Solos, you know?
Yeah.
So
and that's how I feel. And I also feel like now that Grogu, who, by the way, that's an awful name.
It's horrible.
That is one of my other beefs. Like,
it's the worst name ever.
It's a terrible name. Like, no one uses it. Everyone still just calls him Baby Yoda.
Yep.
And there's very few people who are like, oh, Grogu. Like, I think you'll see a bunch of, you know, Baby Yoda or the child. You're never gonna see someone who's got Grogu tattooed on their arm. Like,
even Robert Rodriguez in his behind the scenes video,
the child,
it's called him, Baby Yoda. He called him specifically. It was just like,
John Favreau's even calling him Baby Yoda. He says we call him Baby Yoda and Grogu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so the thing is that as soon as he hands Grogu over to Skywalker, we all now have an expectation of where that storyline's going to go, right? But if it had been any other Jedi, like,
you didn't know,
And so for me, it felt like they were actually limiting the story by bringing Luke Skywalker.
It's possible. We still don't know for sure that Luke takes him as a student in his academy, because I think in theory, timeline wise, he hasn't started his academy yet. Like, it's soon, but he hasn't started it yet. And so maybe he dumps his ass on Dagobah and he was like, Yoda was happy here. See ya. Like,
well, it's not like he's still cut off. He probably got consulted by Yoda. Yoda's like, oh shit. Yo, Luke, I need you to do a quick favor. I was just listening in on the phone lines and caught up with my great grandson, in quotes. I need you to go pick him up for me if you don't mind. Yeah, he's in some deep shit.
I got some incriminating evidence that me and Yaddle got busy.
Incriminating evidence he is. That I don't know. In this case, I'm kind of like leaning towards Donkey's philosophy of like, I think they're doing a good job with the more Star Wars that they're doing, you know, so I'm kind of a little excited at what to come next. Unless there's another Jedi that the audience is established and knows and is trustworthy, I don't know if they could have brought just some dude out that says, are you a Jedi? Yeah, I'm a Jedi, and give him to Grogu.
Yeah,
so the trustworthiness, that's why Skywalker's like, oh, we know.
There's a handful of people that in theory exist at this time.
Yeah.
But technically they may not, because in Return of the Jedi, when Yoda is dying, he tells Luke, when I'm dead, you are the last Jedi.
Yeah.
So in theory, who knows? Ezra could be dead. And everyone thought it was going to be like Mace Windu was going to come back. I was like, no, he isn't.
Yeah.
That's another one I was really hoping didn't come to fruition.
That was the one that was like, I kind of actually agree with Dave. I thought it was really masturbatory and like a complete and total fan service.
Most
like
of the season
having Luke, you know, but
like, here's Ahsoka, here's Boba, here's Luke.
Exactly. But that was the thing though. But then I thought back and I was thinking about it. I was like, but who else would they have then brought back and put this in that people actually know and that could possibly be alive based on what is canon right now?
Yeah, because in theory he might be the only one.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it. Like it bothered me for like a hot second, and then I was like, nah, this is fucking cool. Because like what extra did it for me was actually on the second watch through, after seeing kind of a GIF that somebody created that has Luke in the hallway with his lightsaber bouncing around blaster bolts, and Vader from
Rogue One
bouncing around blaster bolts, and just the way the two of them, how similar they look and how cool it was. I was like, oh shit. And you watch it a second time, and it's the fact that it's Luke, the impact's down a little, but it's so much cooler with what he's doing, because it's what you actually wanted to see Luke do in Return of the Jedi, with actually using Force powers. That he knows this, that they just weren't doing because of the limits of special effects at that point.
It definitely upped Luke's stock in terms of his, Jedi masterfulness. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just like Rogue One did with Vader.
Yeah.
This is what he's capable of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the thing. Like you thought that was so what was awesome about Rogue One, and that I think actually kind of enhanced the kind of mythos of Luke Skywalker, if you will. It was cool with what happened in the second one. I'm blanking on the name now.
the second one
movie?
No, of the sequels.
Empire Strikes Back?
No, with Luke,
The Last Jedi?
with Rey. Yes, thank you. Like Luke's a badass in that when he's fighting Kylo. It's cool, but it's still
a badass in that.
Even when he's like sparring with Rey, he's just like knocking her away and like just moving like a ninja. I was like, he's kind of dope right now.
But it wasn't like, it was the same thing with Vader. Like we kept hearing that he was this big badass dude, but really, if you look back at what Vader ever did in all three movies, was like he blocked some blaster bolts. He kind of did a Force jump at one point in Empire. He did, throw a couple things around with the Force.
He was mostly just big and scary.
Yeah, like it was that total impact that they kind of established that Anakin kind of had from the prequels was never really shown with Vader, and then he goes through that shit in Rogue One, and you're like, oh fuck. And so now we're suddenly seeing Luke, just a very short timeline after Return of the Jedi, where it was the same kind of thing. We really hadn't seen what he could do, and all of a sudden he's just fucking crushing robots' heads.
Yeah,
and like
it was cool. It was very cool from like a visual perspective, and also just like oh shit, he's kind of dope. Like it was cool to see. That was what it was like with all the characters. Like it was like, oh, Boba Fett, he's dope. Oh, Ahsoka, she's dope. Like they all just did cool stuff. Like they showed up, did cool shit, and then they just vanished. Like that was kind of like the most of the cameos in the show this season.
My only disappointment was that fucking Din didn't just give him the little silver ball at that point.
That's the new MacGuffin. Baby Yoda's coming back for it. He's like, yo, where's my ball?
Right. Or what's going to happen is you're going to go and like somehow Baby Yoda's going to turn to the dark side, and Din's going to have to fucking...
They would never do that with him. They would never, ever turn him to the dark side. Absolutely. Merchandise and marketing, like that would just be...
Suicide.
There was one meme I read that was like Baby Yoda's so lucky that Disney owns Star Wars, because if it was HBO, they might have chucked that little fucker into a wood chipper at some point. Like he's safe on Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
How did everyone feel about Jon Favreau bringing Iron Man to Star Wars?
That's the first thing I said in that episode.
Yeah. I didn't care for the robot Iron Man Dark Troopers.
Oh,
but I think
again, those are kind of things like where the hell some of the stuff is like, okay, where the hell did this shit come from? Like, it's
Dark Troopers are an established thing, but they were still just people.
Yeah.
And so but I think technically that's Legends now, though, right? They're not.
Legends now.
Yeah.
But I knew what they were when you first saw them, and the first time they revealed them, I was like, oh, they're Dark Troopers, because that is what they look like in the comic books.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't a new thing.
Yeah, it was comic books. That's where you're supposed to fucking know them from.
But like as soon
Watch
as
the
they were
cartoon.
vented into space, I was like, what's that gonna do? They're freaking robots. They're just gonna fly back. Like it just like
It's
Yeah.
gonna buy him time.
yeah.
Yeah, they didn't think that plan through. But
That
I mean, they were fine. I mean, they were yet again another MacGuffin to a degree.
They
Of like
Yes.
the one-on-one
they-
fight with Mando and the Dark Trooper, I thought
That
was really
fucking
cool.
dope.
That
Like,
reminded me of
yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah, it just showed him getting outclassed at every step. Like, and I was like, this is, and then like with all the other ones trying to bust through the door, I was like, this is actually pretty dire. Like, this seems
Well,
like he's not going to be able to get out of this very easily.
And that was the only thing they had going for them at that point, which because they had raised the stakes to that point.
Mhm.
That like when they were getting on there, you weren't like, okay, it's just a bunch of robots
Well,
going
the other
after
thing,
him. Like, ooh.
the other thing is, Din hates robots. He hates droids. Like that's part of his character, and that they don't really go into it as much this season.
Yeah, I feel like
But-
that's something I
They,
remember.
but if you look at, I can't remember which episode they talk about the Dark Troopers and the fact that they're not human and that they are droids. He doesn't say
Yeah.
anything or do anything, but someone says that, and Din kind of like looks like, if you watch him, he like looks over his shoulder like fucking droids. Like he just has like body
No,
language.
I think
that's
the
like,
Dark
ugh.
Trooper, when he's talking about that was, I think that was that last episode actually. Giancarlo Esposito.
It was
is
before
telling
he
him when he's
sees
in-
them though. It was
Right.
before-
Yeah. No, he hasn't seen him yet.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just in the cell.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but I remember his just body language when he finds out that they're droids. He was just like, oh. So I think that's probably part of the reason that they made them that way, because that actually ties into like Din specifically in his sort of traumatic childhood when his everything got destroyed by the not the clone army, the other one, the droid army. From
Yeah, that was softened by that IG-88 or IG-11
11.
droid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, he obviously felt a little bit better about him after that guy, but still probably has some, mental hangups about droids. Fucking Boba Fett, man.
Boba Fett, I knew he'd make his way into it.
Yeah.
Second I saw the helmet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, but no, again, I no complaints. I think they've done a good job so far. So it's entertaining. Got a little time now to kind of catch up and kind of re-submerge into that whole universe as we wait for more Marvel and get that back, going eventually. Anyone see the New
It's
Mutants?
about 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the New Mutants. No.
Yeah.
No,
'Cause
not
that-
yet.
'cause that's part of it, isn't it? That's Marvel, isn't it?
I've heard from
Uh,
enough people that movie was just garbage. That,
Really?
that it's
Yeah.
no matter what they did to it, like you could very much tell that it was everything we predicted based on the way the trailers were.
Yeah.
Once Disney bought it, they totally recut the fucking movie.
Okay.
Well,
And,
because originally
just-
it wasn't part of Disney's Marvel; it was the Fox
right.
Marvel. But then they bought them like in the middle of
Oh,
production.
So it's not really a Marvel, but it's part of the.
It is
it
and it
part of
isn't.
canon? Is
Yeah.
it supposed to be part of
it
canon?
is technically. I think they said that it is part of it now because they
Okay.
bought it and changed parts of it. But I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
What's coming out in 2 weeks?
WandaVision.
WandaVision,
WandaVision.
Oh, that's right. So WandaVision.
and then I
Okay.
think it's Winter Soldier and Falcon after that.
Yep.
Right.
hmm
When's
what
Black
looks
Widow?
good is What If? Have you guys watched the trailer for What If?
That was
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
That looks
That
really
movie was
cool.
So cool.
Okay. No, I don't think I've seen that.
Which you were asking? Oh, Black Widow is still. I think it's still slated for June.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we've got nothing else for the galaxy far, far away, I think we can go and put a closure on this one. And and again, David, thank you for joining us. I always love the fact that you hate the subject matter, but are willing to still come on and talk about it.
I love
knowing-
it and hate it. I think I always have problems because I love it so much. I'm one of those
Yeah.
people. So.
And real quick, only because I know you're also a fan. Do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Ghostbusters?
I'm super stoked.
Do you like the
Ghostbusters.
previews you've seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. I went to the big Ghostbusters fan fest that was like 2 years ago at this point. It was the 35th anniversary. Or maybe it was that was last year. No, I don't know. I mean, time doesn't make sense anymore. So, so yeah, we were down in LA. We got to like talk to the director when we were down there. He was super cool. So Jason Reitman, his son, and you know, just the two of them talking together and what they were talking about and what they're going to do. And from what the trailers look like so far, it looks badass. But it keeps getting punted. I mean, it was supposed to come out in July, and then it got punted to, I think it was January. And then it got punted again to July. So who knows? I mean, they just keep kicking this.
Well, at least it's done. That's one, or is it not done yet? Didn't they finish?
Well, I mean, it's done. They finished it. And actually, Jason Reitman tweeted that he was actually happy that it had been postponed. He felt he went back and made some additional cuts to the film and feels he has a superior product afterwards. So
cool,
nice.
So
hopefully he didn't tinker too much and ruin a good thing. Who knows?
Yeah,
that's the problem with too much waiting. Yeah. People will sometimes.
Well, that's the other thing we've also got. When is the Snyder Cut comes out soon, doesn't it?
I thought it was originally supposed to be December, but it obviously hasn't dropped, so maybe they delayed that.
Because he was still working on it, and they did some reshoots.
That's right.
It's a Chinese democracy.
We'll talk about DC stuff next time.
I never saw the original, so I guess I'll probably have to watch it before the Snyder Cut. I don't know.
If you want.
Have you seen the Snyder Cut of what is it, Batman versus Superman? The extended version?
No, and you couldn't pay me to watch that movie again.
Well,
the extended version is better.
The extended version is a lot better because that's the first, when I first watched it, I watched that and I was like, it's not great, but it's okay. And I then rewatched it, a year later, the regular version. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I can't believe I don't remember it being this bad. I'm like, this is
all right.
garbage.
Maybe I'll give the Snyder Cut
it adds a lot of context that was really necessary.
Is the Martha scene still in there? Because of
course it is. Of course, bad. You don't cut the classics.
That's the emotional crutch of the movie, man. Both of their moms are named Martha.
I mean, of course, the huge battle's going on. Lois is just gonna stroll in and like, that's the name of his mother. I know exactly what's going on in this whole conversation and situation, and I'm calm enough to say that.
I will say, for as just genuinely horrible and dumb as that scene is, I didn't see it coming. I didn't think they were going to pull that card. I didn't think they were going to pull the mom's name card. I was like, well, that's okay. They've, points for originality, I guess.
Yeah, if you got that in common, then maybe we're not so different.
That's the moral of the story.
My Martha, I mean, she died when I was young, but up to that point, she has a great mom. All right. Well, didn't mean to get on a tangent there, but I could see that on the next show when we come back, I have a feeling that we're not going to get much done because there's just too much to talk about and there's too many tangents that are going to
don't start going into DC. We don't need to talk about Wonder Woman 84 right now. Let's end the show.
Let me finish that first. I got 36 minutes left. I got 36 minutes left on it.
We need a whole episode for that.
I have some opinions on that one.
I think everyone has opinions. Has everyone seen it? Just out of curiosity.
Except for Opie, the last bit of it.
Yeah, I'm finishing it up.
Honestly, you really don't need to see that last 36 minutes.
No, I didn't watch the last half hour of Wonder Woman either, but I'm gonna finish this one. All right. And Donkey, again, thanks for showing up. But anything Star Wars, I know you're gonna make time.
Boba Fett, baby, we did it.
Yeah,
we did it.
Yeah, I imagine
people.
Were you crying at any point watching that final episode or during the
my
scene?
Wife actually filmed my reaction. I didn't know that, and then I gotta watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
I have to watch that.
I haven't watched awesome. You gotta share that with us.
Yeah, I expect to see that text in my phone by 8 a.m., sir. I want to see that fucking video.
He's just
I
like
have to see that.
bawling and just, just screaming to the heavens.
Hold on to his Grogu pillow. It's just soaked. I gotta see that video. I don't care what it takes. I gotta see it. Remember, I took you to the NFC Championship game last year, Dick.
Oh damn!
Like came in his gear.
You're pulling out the IOUs.
Oh yeah, I'm not getting it from any Niner thing this season. All right. Well, thank you again, guys, for joining us. Thank you for those that are listening. I can't imagine anybody's watching this, but if you are, thanks. And I think we're gonna try to get going here with the new year coming. Try to maybe get on to a little bit more regular. Try to get back to the show and have some fun. So till then, talk to you later. Where's Pete?
He's feeding on Gamorrean guards at the moment.
Are we?
We're on our own, I guess.
Did Bubba just shoot him?
I think he probably forgot to like clear this with the family, and
yeah.
he
Oh,
ran
right.
in
I'm
here
just
to
recording
like
real quick.
set
Yeah,
this
yeah,
up real quick.
No. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Very fast. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go.